Thank you for enrolling at Bog Shorts, Niv Mizzet School for Witch Hats and Wizard Trees. Amidst our excellent classes, high-grade facilities, and upright staff members, you'll find yourself sorted into one of 4 houses: Grimblebore, Bufflehuff, Ravenschmaw, and the Evil Ones. What's that? Sorting children into groups based on vague personality traits that will determine their future and influence their self-image irreparably is practically segregation? It's an inherently irresponsible misuse of administrative power that's bound to ruin the children's personal growth and force them into a box they'll almost certainly grow out of? Nonsense! Here's an owl and a few decades of student debt. It's Izzet time, baby! Welcome to Color Theory, the only show where cheating is not only allowed, but is required for usual operations. Today we'll be sleuthing out what atrocities the Izzet players commit behind closed doors. Izzet players are created through the fusion dance of theater kids and English majors. Creative, questionably dressed, and liable to interrupt you at any point in time for any reason. Now, before we delve into these enthusiastic learners, let's play an appropriately themed game. It's quiz time! And today's question is, who is an Izzet player's worst enemy? Is it A. Urza, B. the debt collector, or C. their 3rd grade music teacher who told them they were a little pitchy and they haven't quite recovered from that sense? The answer? D. Other Izzet players. Turns out the best way to stop someone from storming off and then blasting the table with grape shot infinity is to sit there with 2 untapped blue mana and giving them a firm nope. Side effects of playing Izzet include sneezing out infinites as casually as Sultai players sneeze out propaganda, waking up in full Hamilton garb with no memory of where you were last night, and getting so lost in the sauce that you end up decking yourself out and have to scramble to find a win condition amid the 50 cards in your hand before you crumble to dust like my lactose-intolerant friend after I cyclonic rift his wife and kids. If red embodies freedom, and if blue embodies creativity, Izzet embodies the adrenaline rush you get for setting a tripwire in front of a Best Buy on Black Friday. Red and blue complement each other so well, they sometimes feel more like a monocolor than they do a dual color. Red's lack of card-drawn sustainability issues are solved by blue's ability to generate resources, while blue's difficulty closing out games and low aggro is repaired by red's blistering speed and obscene damage options. When combined, these 2 separate identities meld into a Spellslinger playstyle that truly feels like a puzzle. You have an out, an option, a win condition somewhere in your deck, and you'll find it, no matter how many students you have to experiment on in unethical and inhumane ways. What did I say? Don't mistake their flexibility for perfection. Although our favorite politically colored heroine wizards are an extremely potent group, their tri-state area hijinks have a handful of flaws. Firstly, both of their colors have a notorious lack of ramp. Black and green can usually get along fine, but red and blue struggle almost more than any other color combination. This is an issue, of course, considering your primary goal is to max out as many Wizards R Us credit cards as possible in as little time as possible. Your best options are rituals, which are cards that give you a short burst of mana, but don't really provide any lasting benefit, and they usually come from the red side of the family. Izzet's other notorious issue is struggling to remove problematic long-term threats. Although the combo is teeming with creature and artifact removal, I can count the number of playable enchantment removals on one hand. Additionally, they lack any real powerhouse creatures, putting them at a disadvantage against strategies that employ hard-to-remove threats that would otherwise be blocked. While you were studying the book, Timmy over here was studying anime fight AMVs. If Science Experiment Gone Wrong sounds like your cup of tea, then let's get you started with a handful of solid picks. The Locust God has the true soul of an Izzet player. Every time you do something you already want to do, draw cards in this case, you also get to throw a locust-shaped knife at one of your closest friends. Well that's fine, at least it's only once per turn. Whisper, whisper. Alright, it's not once per turn. At least you have to work to draw cards. Whisper, whisper, whisper. Okay, you're in blue, and for some reason you can pay 4 mana to draw a card, which is kind of like an assassin paying himself to kill me. Well, hey, he'll turn into a removal magnet, so it's all good. Whisper, whisper. You've got to be kidding me. Play lots of draw spells and plenty of ways to benefit from your Locust Swarm in order to make me regret making this video. Veyron, Voice of Duality, is an ADHD kid whose primary income comes from selling Adderall. Veyron beefs up every time you cast an instant or sorcery, while also doubling anything that likes when you cast spells. Yeah, wait, doesn't Veyron like when you cast spells? In addition to being object permanently challenged, Veyron is an incredible deceiver. After reading that stat block, you probably think that you'll win through outvaluing your opponents with lots of when you cast a spell cards, and you'd be right, but only half right. The proper way to win with Veyron is what I'd like to refer to as the
infinite Adderall feedback loop.
Simply arrange your cardboard in such a way as to infinitely cast or copy a spell. Something approximately as difficult as coming up with a JoJo localization stand name. Flaccid Pancake? Someone got paid real American dollars to come up with Flaccid Pancake? And then watch as your 5'2" math nerd transforms into world heavyweight champion Matt from Wii Sports. Play low-cost spells, as many cards that say when you cast a spell as you can, and a handful of infinite copy loops to firmly cement your place as the table's least favorite calculus enjoyer. Okon and Zindersplit are what happens when you give a set of best friends a shotgun and a gambling addiction. This pair of pleasant partner commanders has been formatted similarly. They're both 5 costs, they both have an ability that has you flip a coin until you lose one at the beginning of combat, and they both have a benefit for whenever you win a coin flip. Okon chugs a Red Bull every time he wins at blackjack. Meanwhile, Zindersplit reads the latest Brandon Sanderson novel as a victory lap for kicking your ass at slots. You might be thinking, Apollo, 2 5-cost creatures that might gain power or might draw you cards sounds like a horrible mana investment. My friend, let me remind you what Izzet is known for. They say the house always wins, so the best way to cheat is to be the house. No, not that house. Mardu Theory's on the schedule for like half a year. Learn some patience. Ugh, Mardu players. You know how it is. Become the house by playing plenty of ways to flip additional coins, stop your opponent from preventing your coin flips, and also just cards that straight up lie about what the result was. And with that, seize the day. Like, comment, subscribe, all that nonsense. But make sure to let me know what color combination you're most looking forward to. Set your opponents up for failure, fault your students for bad behavior, and challenge your asthmatic friend to a foot race and steal their inhaler. But most importantly, I am coming for your soul ring.